Why is everything stupid or like a waste of time? Like, why can't you just have a conversation?
The same, like, you don't have to have any skill to be Tidal Wave. Don't put people down for like making the game slightly easier. Like
that's mentioning a fact. That's not putting people down. If I'm saying, well, he was using CBF. What about that is putting people down? Like, if you're put down by that, I'm sorry, bro. You need to grow up. Like, it's not my job to make sure. Okay.
Don't put people down.
Don't put people down.
Determine whether something's cheating. They also don't determine whether someone's a good player, you fucking moron. This person is like fucking like a product of like the stupid people like Doggie.
Oh yeah.
Like, so just shut the fuck up.
Don't put people down.
I don't give a shit how frustrating it is that you can't like rise the ranks or whatever. I'm not hate. I don't fucking hate them. I think they're fucking stupid. I think this is just as brain dead as the fucking Wavix video. I'm not gonna watch it and be like, oh boy.
Don't put people down.
This is a really fucking stupid comment. So fucking dumb.
Like, that's the funny thing. Like, you were an asshole for the majority of this reaction, and now you're calling me an asshole. Hey, but you are arguing that I'm an asshole. Like, bro, like, just calm that ass down, bro.
If you really like are expecting the Demonlist to be like without flaw representation of how good someone is, then you're a fucking idiot.
Did, like, at any point in the video, no. Okay.
I didn't even have to fucking answer.
Don't put people down.
Like, there's no way of quantifying that, so shut the fuck up about it. Like, you can understand that if you're not a fucking moron, dude.
Know whether or not.
No, you fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
The more transparency, the better. So, to ask a player if they need transparency, oh, you don't. Oh.
You fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't.
It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We shouldn't be putting down people.
I don't
This
think
comment
it's
probably
something-
sucks.
Look at this comment.
Don't be an asshole. Percent needs to be an asshole.
Google thinks I'm just an asshole, so I call people dumb. The it being possible argument is fucking stupid. Like, you can get a cosmic bit flip and beat Stupid Wall. That doesn't mean that using no clip isn't cheating. Like,
Hold on. Is using a 144 hertz monitor over a 60 hertz monitor the same thing as no clipping through a wall?
somewhat take your argument seriously, you should like actually think it through. This person is not only not thinking it through, but
I haven't even presented an argument yet. What do you mean I'm not thinking an argument through?
Wait.
But how are you gonna call that reductive and then say that any mod is cheating, and then
Any mod cheating is wild.
and then not realize that that's reductive?
CBF is so inconsequential when you compare like someone who plays the game for 10 hours a day and has like really good fucking genetics to someone who plays the game for 1 hour a day and fucking sucks ass. Like, it's
Right, but like Tiago isn't someone who plays the game 1 hour a day and sucks ass versus Cervex being someone who's really good and plays 10 hours a day. They're both top players.
They're both still top players.
Like, what the fuck?
It's just
Well, there's none of what you're saying is
not
relevant.
part of the argument.
At all.
They don't.
See, he said they don't.
They
like,
don't.
like,
But
like I
what-
said, the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
It's just like you
Just
take
explaining
teams of your
CBF.
points for no reason.
Yeah, why are you going after me for this? This is such a fucking dumb thing to go after. Like, I'm just like, am I not allowed to just like,
You see, like, and this is the attitude that I pointed out.
like he was saying like, oh, CBF changes the game, but like,
See, that's not what I said. That's not. Bro, you don't think Septagon has anything. You think Doggie's comments dumb. You think, like, half of what I said is irrelevant. Or you don't care. Like, stop crying.
and
Hi.
From what I've gathered, it's like somewhat correct. It's like somewhat correct, but then he kind of misses the point and turns into like a fucking loser. And then the comment that Doggie wrote is like so like every.
So, like, I have no problem with what was said, like, until, like, oh, he just turns into a fucking loser. Like, now you're gonna have to explain how that was done. Because I don't mind if someone says I'm missing the point, but then again, like, you can't just throw shit and then not substantiate it.
From
So,
what
like,
I
now
see,
I'm, like,
it's,
interested.
completely- No, I agree with that part. I think He just goes on and he's like, force normalcy. CBF disturbs level.
Yeah. See, like, this is the first problem that I noticed with the stream. It's like you're ascribing a certain tone. You're believing I'm saying these things in a way in which I'm not saying them. So you're going through the chapters and you're like, forced normalcy, CBF disturbs like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying forced normalcy. I mean, we'll get to why I said that, but it's not like malicious in the way that I'm saying it. Like, it's just like, I don't know what to tell you if you don't like the placement of words beside one another.
That's the part that I think is fucking.
It was like
no,
the
you
tone.
want to be in depth.
Yeah, but it was like the tone. Like, they acted like I was like forced normalcy. Like, I was saying it like that. It was just like
you're just trying to be in depth and give your opinion.
Yeah. We as humans don't see in frames, but the equivalent for what we as humans see in real life is anywhere between 30 to 60 frames per second.
That's just not even true.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. So the one thing they were yapping, I don't think they heard the first part, which is their fault. But my fault is, like, I don't know, because a lot of people got confused but when I said that. So I think what I could have said was on a regular basis. Like, people see the equivalent of 30 to 60 frames per second on a regular basis. So I think that's my fault for not being as transparent in terms of what I was trying to say. But the reason why I didn't go in depth is because I was literally just trying to give people who don't understand, like, have an understanding of what FPS is, like, just to give them an idea of like what 30 or 60 frames per second is. Like, oh, like when I'm just talking to somebody in real life, that kind of looks like 30 to 60 frames per second on a TV screen or a computer screen or a laptop screen or a monitor or a phone. Like, that's essentially what I was trying to say. So what I said was in the video is that we don't see in frames. We as humans don't see in frames. But the equivalent to what we as human beings see is 30 to 60 FPS. So a lot of people in the comment section, they were like, oh wait, I can tell the difference between 144 and 240 frames per second. And automatically it's like, okay, like, I'm not saying you can't. Like, we're not talking about FPS. We don't even see in frames per second. And that's the other thing. Like, when someone's like, oh, we don't even see in frames. I'm like, I literally just said that. I said the human equivalent to what we see in FPS. But the equivalent for what we as humans see in real life is anywhere between 30 to 60 frames per second. But the equivalent. And then the last thing about this topic in particular is that I got from two sources. I got actually four. I think it was about four sources said 30 to 60 FPS as the equivalent. I did some math because I was doing more. It's actually very complicated. It might not even be 30 to 60 frames per second. The human eye has a frame rate of 100 frames per second because every frame at 100 frames per second lasts for 10 milliseconds. But in this video right here, but like that might not even be true because the retina is not as light sensitive as like an actual camera, which has actual shutter speed. And then this video right here, I think this is like a science podcast. Like, they have a whole website and everything. They said like about 75 frames per second. So at no point am I insinuating that you can't see above 60 frames per second on a screen, because I'm not even talking about frames per second. I'm talking about the equivalent. Like, wouldn't that be a huge contradiction? Like, this entire video is based on the premise that you can tell the difference between 60, 144, 240, 360 frames per second. But my point is that when people hear like the 30 to 60 frames per second thing, and then it's like, oh, that's not even true. Like, I automatically know that you misconstrued what I was saying.
Yeah, that's not true. We see way more than that.
We see way. It depends on the person, but like,
yeah,
it's also not. It's not calculated in frames, first of all, which is a nerd statement. But like,
but it's so much more. If that's so fucking stupid, because if you saw a maximum of 60 FPS, then having 240 FPS on
right. So like, already that's not what was being said.
Monitor would make no difference.
There's no point in saying that, because that's not what I'm
It
asserting.
would be like,
yeah,
you would see in 60 FPS, like, that doesn't even make sense. I mean, it would.
Yeah.
I think it would technically be easier, but
if
like,
they're also against FPS bypass, then I guess like sure, like that's your point, whatever. But like,
I don't think they are
So-
against FPS bypass. I don't,
yeah, that like
know. Based on what I
even
scrolled
if
through-
it was right, that means like if they were against FPS bypass, then it would make sense for them to be also against CBF. But like, they're not.
When you're playing video games, however, you can easily have 240 or 360 frames per second. Yeah, so like, they missed the point on that,
What?
but it's whatever. What were you saying what to? Yeah, because you misunderstood what I said, and then when I'm saying that games can have above those frame rates, you're like, what? Because you don't understand. You didn't understand what I said. That's partially my fault, but you were yapping and you missed the part of the video where I'm like, we don't see in frames. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you would have been more, because like, you guys are smarter than the average commenter, right? So maybe you would have had more insight. Some extremely hard games, like Geometry Dash, almost require this to beat really difficult levels.
They don't.
What are you talking about? They don't. They don't require high frame rates to beat hard levels in Geometry Dash? What do you mean they don't? Like I just said the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
Wait,
he said they don't.
They don't.
Like
Wait,
I
so
said the
what-
stupidest fucking thing in the world. Wait. Are we actually saying that we don't need like 240, 360 FPS to beat really hard levels? Like before CBF, because CBF is a game changer, but like before CBF, what was the go-to method? Why was FPS Bypass a thing? But he right here they got me fucked up because I was like, it's almost like you're playing hard games like Geometry Dash, like having 240 or 360 is like almost required. Like, is that a crazy thing to say?
No, I mean, look at the top players.
Right.
You see any of them being like fucking Tidal Wave with 60 FPS? No.
Yeah, I was like, well then why is there a mobile list then? If it's not like why is there a whole separate list for mobile that can't go like in those higher frames? And those levels aren't the
Higher
levels
FPS makes the game more accurate.
Right.
That proves like they might not know what they're talking about. Like,
No, but that's not central. I don't think that matters.
Because yeah, like no, but like honestly, like if I actually believe that you couldn't see it in more than 60 frames, the entire video would be like stupid. Like, why would I actually think that?
No, but that's not central. I don't think that matters. It's not central.
Right, thank you. Why do you guys think that there's such a big difference between, like, let's say if I put a video in, like, 144 FPS or 360 FPS, why do you think it's like, oh shit, I can see everything so clearly? It's because you don't see shit like that in real life. Like, in real life, if I go like this becomes blurry.
Like, a lot of people, like, really are just, like, so, like, out there in terms of what they're talking about, like about stuff that just doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if it makes you a million times better at the game. I don't care if it doesn't make you better at all. Like, I feel like none of that is really important to like whether it should be accepted. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, that's a fair take.
calling out CBF cheating, and he needs no clip to beat Forest Temple. I don't think that's his footage.
It is my footage. Wait. Is this person being serious? I thought that was a joke. That's an Electronoman adventure block. Wait, are you actually being serious? Wait, niggas are wait. Are niggas being serious right now? This is the verifier. Rest in peace to Michigan. Those are just fake blocks. Wait, I hope they were trolling.
wow, how's he going through the blocks?
Yo, how's he going through the blocks? Force Temple. Oh shit.
Like, okay.
Unfortunately, using this mod is cheating and has also had some negative.
That's not fortunate.
I
He
lost
said,
like the biggest point ever.
Unfortunately, this mod is cheating. Like, okay.
You see, like you're ascribing a tone. I said, unfortunately, this mod is cheating, and it's unfortunate because, like, imagine if it were legitimate, like if it were actually legitimate, it was accepted into the community, and we could all use it without any controversy. That's why it's unfortunate that it's actually cheating, based on my definition that I put into the video. Like, we don't need your commentary right here. Like, to me saying unfortunately. I understand that this is a controversial topic, and unfortunately, the GD community can't handle controversial topics very well. I've experienced this firsthand by my own comment section. See, like, that is very true. That's why they're laughing. I've experienced this firsthand by my own comment section on my top 10 Geometry Dash players video. I said by the end of 2024, Trick and Popoff were above Zoink, and because Trick retired, obviously I think Zoink is a better player than Trick.
Okay, this guy.
What is it?
What does retiring have anything to do with that? I mean, he doesn't
Anything to do with what?
like
what
magically
does it-
become a fucking baby when he retires. He's still good at the game.
No, he's still good at the game. Okay, first of all, if you stop playing a game, people are going to catch up in skill to you. So in the case of like Zoink and Trick, I thought they were like super even, but because Trick no longer plays the game and Zoink plays probably every day, Zoink is probably the better player. But when people retire, that means they no longer play the game. Meaning other people it's more likely that other people catch up, that you're not polishing your skills. Like, what are we talking about? How is it relevant? Like, I understand that. Like, Trick retiring doesn't make, like, Mizuki or Tayago better than Trick, but Zoink?
Add to the video, like,
no,
oh
he's,
yeah,
he's just talking about how he's talking about the GD community can't handle like controversial topics.
And I'm giving my own example. That nigga came up with the video, bro. That shit was sad as shit, bro. That shit was dark as hell. He had his monitor. He was like, guys, I'm retiring. People literally called it propaganda and rage bait. Like, bro, get the out of your mouth. Bro, even top players said y'all were tweaking in the comments. Wait, are we laughing at the same thing?
That's so funny.
How about we pause for like a minute and we just forgot everything?
No,
And then,
Bro, oh my gosh, bro. Whoever his friend has short-term memory loss.
this is propaganda.
He said like Zoink is the better player because Trick retired and people are calling. I feel like
No. See, y'all need to stop pausing the fucking video, bro, and just let it play. People in my comment section were calling the fact that I said Trick and Pop-Off were above Zoink like propaganda and rage bait. So that's how you got there.
oh my god, I feel like this really should not be something that bothers you. These people are probably like a combined age of like 13.
If this got to you, got enough of a response to you to like go back and forth with me, then I'm pretty sure like hundreds and hundreds of comments saying stupid shit would too. Bro, get the out of your mouth. Bro, even
Take out of here.
bro.
Oh my
Is that not crazy? Is that like not a crazy thing to say though? Hold on. Me saying Trick is above Zoink is rage bait and propaganda. You do need to get the dick out of your mouth. Yo, doesn't Zoink have like a girlfriend? Like, get off that man's nuts, bro.
I still don't know what this has to do with the entire video at all. Like, I'm so confused. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
No, he's just he's going on a fucking rant about how the...
See, like, nobody's going on a rant. What is your interpretation? And I'm saying that this is, like, the Geometry Dash community isn't great at taking comment section, controversy. And I experienced that with my own comment section. And now I'm showing you the experience that I got through the comment section.
community can't handle controversial stuff.
Just like in general, just like
Yes,
they can't
in
handle the fact that
general,
like
this
people
is,
have
like,
different
so
appointments.
fucking
Or,
stupid.
not appointments, opinions.
This is like such a waste of time. You don't have, like you don't have to go over this.
Bro, actually, this disclaimer sparked some good debate because this guy, he was like, oh, I saw like the disclaimer in your video and I want to make this comment as constructive as possible. And he actually wrote like a really good fucking comment. Like, he didn't agree with me on everything, but he like wrote like, which is good. Like, I don't want you to agree with me on everything. But yeah, he wrote a constructive shit. So clearly this wasn't a waste of time. Y'all are just being dickheads. Yeah. But just don't act like someone's opinion, which is opposite to yours, is hate speech or something crazy.
What? What do you mean? Wait, well, that took a fucking turn? What do you mean?
Dude, every single time I zone out for 2 seconds, it's always on a completely different topic, and it's always like, this shit is evil!
What the fuck? I can't believe... I can't believe he's like...
Is this a response to you,
not,
No, it's
this
not.
is not silly. Why are you guys acting like this is hate speech? What the fuck do you mean?
I don't understand how you're coming away with what I'm saying as though it's random. It's not my problem if you're getting short-term memory loss every time you pause the video for more than 2 minutes at a time, but... what I said was, don't be a dick about, like, don't act like people having a different opinion than you is some form of hate speech. Which, if you go back to what you were looking at, like, 5 minutes ago, when people were calling my opinion propaganda or rage bait, that's literally what I meant. And by hate speech, I'm being, like, hyperbolic, because it's not, like, hate speech.
This is the exact fucking like opposite of what you
What is Seahorse 2, bro? You are hating, bro.
Approaching this. It's not a serious topic that like you should be like if you're going to like
exactly, and that's why I'm telling people to not act like my opinion differing from yours is like something crazy.
Have people like at least somewhat take your argument seriously. You should like actually think it through. This person is not only not thinking it through,
I haven't even presented an argument yet. What do you mean I'm not thinking an argument through?
Way too seriously. That's like fucking. That is like the opposite of what you should be doing.
Like, this is what I call, like, bad faith.
What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
So, just to be clear, the unfair advantage, like, it doesn't matter if anybody can download CBF or whatever. The unfair advantage is that CBF allows you to make your own physics steps while the normal game doesn't allow you to do that. So that's technically the unfair advantage. Hey, this is Editor Dog5, and I'm just putting this segment in because it is relevant to a lot of what will be shown later into the video. So now there was a point of contention in the part of the definition of cheating which states that you have to have an unfair advantage over other players. And because Geometry Dash is a single player game, in practice, you're not really going to get an unfair advantage over other players in practice in Geometry Dash, right? But that doesn't change the fact that it intrinsically still fits the definition. Let's use an example outside of Geometry Dash. So aimbot is a well-known cheat, hack, whatever you want to describe it as. It's cheating, right? But let's say that you're in a private lobby, and let's say that you're playing Call of Duty. Aimbot still is a cheat, even though it isn't affecting anybody. It's still an unfair advantage. It's still cheating, even though you're in a private lobby and you aren't playing against any other human player. It doesn't change the fact that it's a cheat. It's a hack. It doesn't change what it is and what it does fundamentally, right? So yes, CBF isn't going to provide a practical unfair advantage over other players unless you put it in very specific circumstances, which we'll go over all that when we get there. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and that's why I lean towards other aspects of the definition of cheating when it comes to CBF, more so than the unfair advantage side. CBF is a third-party software that manipulates the game to gain an unfair advantage over other players and to achieve better results. CBF is an advantage beyond normal gameplay used to make the game easier. How, you might ask?
I'm not asking how. I think I know how.
Well, you're not the only one watching the video. And can you stop burping, nigga? What the fuck? Wait, what do you mean? What is reductive? There's nothing in the vanilla game of Geometry Dash that allows you to click between frames, physics steps, or to make your own physics step every time you click. That's just a fact.
Like, saying there's no mechanic in the game that if you're modifying the game by literally any means, making the game different, a vanilla game is, like, intending. You're taking a very, like, this is like a very specific...
Not all mods are cheats, though. Not all modifications are cheats. Not all mods allow you to click between the physics steps.
Specific instance that you're, like, claiming is unethical when, like, literally any...
I'm not saying it's unethical either. To start off, I believe that CBF is an amazing mod and a tool that grants the community more accessibility to levels and more benefit.
Is, like, changing the game in some way.
I'm just saying it's cheating.
It may be a varying degree to which it changes the game, but, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still changing the game, and therefore I consider literally any mod cheating. But that's, like, also ridiculous to expect everyone to play in vanilla, and there's lots of benefits mods.
Wait, how did you arrive at that? What do you think I'm saying? So you got that part. So no, you can't extend that to every mod, because not all mods do that specific thing. Like, modifying the game by any... Like, this isn't modifying the game by any means. This is a very specific modification to a game. And not all modification are cheating. Like, start position switcher is not cheating. Speed hack is cheating. That's modifying the game. That is cheating. Being able to, like, have the RBG icon trail is a modification to the game. But that's not cheating. This is very specific. But how are you going to call that reductive and then say that any mod is cheating? And then
Any mod cheating is wild.
And then not realize that that's reductive.
It's just like you
Just
take
explaining
your
CBF.
points for no reason.
Yeah, but this is... He's, like, I'm not disagreeing with him that it's cheating. I agree with him on that part. I think I think he's being reductive in the way that he's, like, explaining that it's cheating, and I think that's leading him to have a really dumb argument.
It being from a third-party software that allows you to manipulate the way the game works on a fundamental level that the base game obviously doesn't allow you to do. That's more so why it's cheating.
It's cheating in terms of it being a third-party software. Yeah, but I mean, I still think... My God, why are you going after me for this? This is such a fucking dumb thing to go after. Like, I'm just like, am I not allowed to just like,
You see, like, and this is the attitude that I pointed out. Like, this is a commenter. I mean, I can't see the comment that he's responding to, but nobody's saying that you're not allowed to pick apart or whatever. I don't even think that anybody's going after you. Like, I don't know why we're being so hostile to the comment.
talk about what I like disagree with in his like definition.
Nope.
I know what he's gonna argue. I like skim through the video. I'm just covering everything. Like otherwise I'd have to go back in the video and cover it. Like what? Like I don't understand your point. Cheating implies nefarious and it doesn't. And I also think that's like more like your interpretation. Like, come on, dude. If you, that's like that's really just your interpretation of it. Because like if you get mad at someone for using a fucking Game Shark, you're a fucking loser. Just shut the fuck up. That's so dumb. Like,
I don't even know what a Game Shark is.
It's like it's such a harmless thing that I think
most of the time cheating implies nefarious intent because most games aren't like this that are single player, like where cheats are relevant. Most of the time you're like playing multiplayer games like Call of Duty or like Apex Legends or Fortnite or whatever. And if you're cheating in those games, it's like you're looked down upon because you're ruining the experience and the time of other players. Why do you think cheaters and hackers get banned from the game? When people hear the word cheating in general, it usually implies nefarious intent.
Oh, wait, you know what is interesting, though? I figured this person didn't actually watch my video, but they're going to go over common rebuttals. I mean, I'd hope they'd at least go over my video, or they're just, like, fucking...
I hope they put my comment on your video saying...
wait, hold on. At least, like, go over your video or what?
In the video.
What does this comment mean? I'm stupid? Okay, so... They're just saying that.
Oh my goodness gracious! Come on, bro.
To watch my video and then not address the point I make. Like, I hope he actually goes over what I said about like BD not being a competitive environment. Like, because I said that in the video. You better fucking go over.
What are you talking about? I'm saying so. Basically, what I end up saying is that clicks between frames is a cheat in like if we want to separate it, normal geometry dash, right? Therefore. Even though the Demonlist allows it, it's still a cheat in normal geometry dash, an actual geometry dash. Therefore, just be more transparent when you use it, when you're uploading the competitive, like your competitive geometry dash completions. Why do I have to look at what you said in the video about it not being a competitive environment? Because if I'm going off of that alone, that's not entirely true at all. And competitive GD is a huge, like, aspect of the game. When you cheat in a video game, it is usually coming at the expense of other people, which is why it is looked down upon. For instance, aimbot or wall hacks in Call of Duty comes at the expense of other players' time and experience. But because Geometry Dash is a single player game, using hacks isn't coming at the expense of anyone in most cases. When you cheat in a video game, it is usually coming at the expense of other people. We're locked in now. Which is why it is looked down upon.
No, it's literally never at the expense of another person unless you're being dishonest.
What? No. So now you're confusing the fact that I'm saying when you hear the word cheating, you don't only hear the word cheating in Geometry Dash. I'm saying cheating in general. When you cheat in a video game, in respect to video games at least, like not relationships, because that's a whole different definition. But it absolutely comes at the expense of other people in general. Which is why I'm saying when you hear the word cheating, it implies nefarious intent. FPS Bypass was never cheating, even when Rob.
Oh my god, what the fuck? How is he gonna defend this after what he just said about C? Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I want to hear him out before I say
I
it.
think it's.
Yeah, thank you. Friend number, like in the background.
My guess.
How are you gonna ask a question that you're gonna get an answer to if you just watch the
I feel like
video?
you should just watch the video on this one.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Yeah, your friend. I get you.
Says like it's the thing I said about him being reductive about what changes the game or not, because like
yeah.
Like he was saying like oh CBF changes the game, but like
see that's not what I said. That's not. You're being reductive.
yes, it does change the game. It just doesn't change it to the same degree as CBF and not in the same way. That doesn't mean it doesn't change the game. Like,
Yeah, saying never I disagree
that's
with.
literally-
If they're saying in 2.2, then yeah, sure.
No,
But,
I
like,
think it was always cheating. Because it modifies the game. Like I think that's literally all that matters. I think like
So you think that anything that modifies the game is cheating. Wait, hold on. Is that what he said? He thinks that FPS bypass is always cheating because it modifies the game.
Is the game. Like, I think that's literally all that matters. I think like trying to like I think like trying to like categorize it is fucking stupid. Because like
so then which one of us is being reductive? FPS bypass was never cheating, even when RobTop capped the FPS limit to 240 frames per second. And if you think it is, feel free to boycott your boy Zoink, W Popoff, Thunder, Trick, and a bunch of other top players right now.
I'm not gonna boycott anyone for using a fucking hack in a video game, dude. It's
like I'm not saying boycott in the literal sense. I'm being hyperbolic.
Like really just isn't problematic.
Like I'm being funny. I'm saying like if you have a problem with FPS bypass, your favorite Geometry Dash streamer probably uses it. Your favorite Geometry Dash player uses it. That's essentially what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying actually boycott. Like what are we talking about, bro? Like I don't understand like why you think I'm like like I'm evil.
It's also funny that he makes the assumption that I don't hate like all these people. I fucking hate every person he mentioned.
What?
Not hate. I don't fucking hate them. I think they're fucking stupid.
What if Wavix has really interesting point?
I think this is just as brain dead as a fucking Wavix
Yeah,
video.
okay.
I'm not gonna watch it and be like, oh boy, I'm gonna watch it and fucking tear
Oh boy!
into it.
So now you're being condescending. If you're like being hyperbolic by calling it brain dead, then surely you can recognize that me saying like boycott was being hyperbolic.
Like in the context of like your exact hardware and circumstances, you're still modifying your in-game
But you are modifying it to get a version of the game that actually exists. When you're using CBF, like you're modifying the game to get the ability to click or to make your own physics steps. That does not exist in the actual game. That fundamentally changes how the game works. And it doesn't exist in any version of the game. Which is why, like, and then it goes back to your point on magnitude. Like, the magnitude of it doesn't matter. So CBF helps a little bit. FPS bypass helped a lot, right? But that's irrelevant. The point is that FPS bypass gave you a game environment that actually exists through the vanilla game. And yes, it changed the physics of the game, but it gave you a version of the physics that actually is attainable through just opening up Geometry Dash. Excuse me. It's just that you didn't have to buy like expensive as fuck hardware. CBF gives you a version of Geometry Dash that isn't attainable outside of the mod, while it gives you the ability to like physically change how you interact with the game.
I mean, you kind of can't because you don't have that hardware.
With the right hardware, with the right hardware, with the right hardware.
With the right hardware.
Unless you do have that hardware,
Yeah.
but then you'd be playing on different hardware.
What? However, what people don't realize is that FPS bypass allows you to play a version of Geometry Dash that actually exists. The version of the game was just locked behind expensive hardware. With the right hardware, you can open up vanilla Geometry Dash and get the same results as what FPS bypass gave you. What about that was wrong?
I mean, you kind of can't because you don't have that hardware.
Exactly. That's why we're using FPS bypass. Wait. That's the whole purpose of FPS bypass. That's implied. You don't have the hardware. And his icon trail would cut. This is because he played the game on 144 hertz, which changed the physics of the game for reasons we have previously gone over. This was during a
Yeah,
time.
it changes the physics of the game. He literally just admitted it changes the physics of the game. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's possible. It's like, you could...
Wait, by his version, by his like logic, Riot would have been cheating.
Yeah.
See, he was like, "Do you think Riot was cheating?" What?
His own mod is asking him that.
It being possible argument is fucking stupid. Like, you can get a cosmic bit flip and beat Sakupin wall. That doesn't mean that using no clip isn't cheating. Like,
What are you even talking about? What is your argument?
a lot of things that are possible that a logic just doesn't hold up.
I'm aware. I think that's what we're disagreeing on. He thinks every mod is a cheat.
It's fucking stupid. Like, you can get a cosmic bit flip and beat Sakupin wall. That doesn't mean that using no clip isn't cheating. Like, there's a lot of things that are possible that a logic just doesn't hold up.
Hold on. Is Is using a 144 hertz monitor over a 60 hertz monitor the same thing as no clipping through a wall in Geometry Dash? Okay, I don't care anymore. Like, we both think that CBF is cheating. Whatever. That's we think it for different reasons, but we think that it's cheating. Wait, so if you really think that FPS Bypass is cheating, you think that basically every single completion nowadays is cheating? I just don't understand the logic that, like, oh, FPS Bypass now or then was cheating. Maybe like back then because it was new, but now with us being able to fully understand what it does, I don't get how you believe it can be cheating. The main problem I have with CBF is how top players are forcing its normalcy just because the list allows it. Like, do you see how, like, I said it, like, forcing its normalcy? And then, like, in the beginning, it was like, force normalcy.
See why
it's not forcing it by any means, but it's like,
I can see why
saying that people aren't influenced by it would be a lot.
No, I just think that, like, this person is like fucking like a product of like the stupid people like Doggie.
Oh yeah.
Who like come
the stupid people like Doggie.
A product of like the stupid people like Doggie.
Oh yeah.
Like most elaborate like.
How do you feel being a product
of the stupid people like Doggie?
How do you feel?
Bro, I don't know.
The saying like the Demonlist was forcing people to use it because CBF was like allowed or something like that.
Yeah, I think
nobody said that.
Forcing is definitely the wrong word there.
I think
forced normalcy. Do we need to explain what normalcy is? Let's look up the definition of normalcy so you don't think I'm making this shit up. The condition of being normal, the state of being usual, typical, or expected. Okay, so CBF is a controversial mod, right? Like, all of a sudden people are like just now starting to use CBF without really saying anything, right? Or without like disclosing the fact that they are using CBF, when the general consensus was like, oh yeah, I'm fine as long as like you mention that you use CBF. So it just seems like, I don't know, there's not enough transparency, and that's what I mean by forced normalcy. Like, aside from like the little indicators, like no one but Zoink really like mentioned that they use CBF. And then like Tiago recently, like all of his completions were like non-CBF, and then he beat Avernus, which he did use CBF like without saying anything. So that's what I mean by like forced normalcy. Like, outside of a verification nowadays, like top players are pretty much just always using CBF. But no one's saying that like the Demonlist is forcing people to use, like, that's a total misinterpretation.
Like artificially inflated difficulty, and therefore
Yeah.
therefore people are forced to use it. Like, you can't just play the level without CBF and take longer. Like.
Not too long ago, this was the general consensus. Now, what if I told you that most players as of recent have been using it for their top level completions? Everybody who beat Avernus after W pop-off used CBF to do so. A lot of people bragged about how Zoink beat Spectre and Anathema in under 2 weeks. Well, he was using CBF.
Okay, this is where the... Okay, this guy's just fucking... Now this guy is just being a fucking dickhead, because they're just putting...
What?
Like, what about that led you to believe that I'm being a dickhead? Right. So, just like from a logical, I'm asking you because I know you're a logical person.
Yeah.
At any point in the video, did I put anybody down?
No.
What about me mentioning the fact that Zoink was using CBF on certain completions makes me a dickhead? Like, now you're name calling without any reason to. Like, and that like at this point of the stream, that's where I was like, what kind of conversation do you want to have? Like, what's the tone that we're gonna like go with? You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna like sit up here and like try to be like all cordial and stuff when like I'm being name called for not being aggressive or anything. Like, if you got offended by that, by the fact that I that I said Swink was using CBF on Anathema and Spectre, that is entirely a you problem.
Okay. No, they're using CBF.
We don't. Not everybody does. You can't just assume that everybody knows that they're using CBF. Why do you keep burping?
I don't give a shit if you brag about being Platinum Adventure. Do it. That doesn't, like, you can't not brag about things if you're like bad at the game. You're like don't put people down for like.
Who's putting anybody down? What? Well, this is such a suspect interpretation of what I'm saying. Zoink beat Spectre and Anathema in under 2 weeks. Well, he was using CBF. That's mentioning a fact. That's not putting people down. In the context of that conversation, people were saying, oh, Zoink did this accomplishment and this accomplishment, and that's why he's better than Trick, and that's why your opinion isn't valid. That's basically, and I'm saying, well, he was using CBF. What about that is putting people down? Like, if you're put down by that, I'm sorry, bro. You need to grow up. Like, it's not my job to make sure. Okay. I didn't know that they were using CBF until I myself used CBF and saw that, like, the CPS doubled when you're using CBF. I don't think everybody knows that. And I don't think it's that hard. Like, I don't think it takes that much time out of your day to just, like, say in the description or, like, even in the title or, like, CBF or whatever. Like, how people used to do. Like, Mizuki beat Unknown. He was like, CBF may have been involved.
When someone does something, like there's a good chance they're using it. You're aware of that, so just take it for what it is. Obviously, it's if they're in vanilla GB, it's gonna be harder. And I do think people should be transparent about it. I think.
So then, what are you yapping about? What is your problem with what I'm saying?
The fact that
because my solution was merely to be more transparent. It absolutely is a new thing. And even if everybody knows, there's like you're using a mod, like a controversial mod that, as we established, as we both agree, is cheating. So what's the harm in just saying that you're using it? Like, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's not your obligation. You don't have to. But I just think that it's like healthy. Don't call people a dickhead for pointing out the fact that they're using CBF. Servax is now beating Tidal Wave with CBF and is in an unofficial race against Tiago, who is not using CBF to beat Tidal Wave.
That they're in an unofficial race to beat Tidal Wave or whatever the fuck level you just said, and one of them is using CBF,
it was Tidal Wave,
and one is not. That's gotta be just the dumbest shit ever.
Has a new Tidal Wave race started? 58,000 views.
But apparently, that could be about to change now, since some very skilled players have been making some insane progress on it, and apparently, this is slowly becoming a race. Let's start with Servax.
I don't see how that's like the stupidest fucking thing ever.
I don't think you realize how luck-based this game is.
I don't think you guys realize. Do you guys realize that? I don't know if you guys realize.
Okay, I don't think you realize that.
I don't know if you guys realize.
Like, there is literally so much that plays into like how fast you gain skill, how much time you have to play the game. Like, all of that is literally completely contingent on luck.
And I don't think you realize how that does not apply to this situation at all.
I don't think you guys realize.
Your financial well-being will determine how much time you have to play the game. Your genetics will determine how fast you gain skill. It is literally so unfair that it is just like complaining about CBF making things unfair is like.
In the context of a Geometry Dash race between a player like Tiago and a player like Servax, we can probably assume that their financial well-being is like sort of on the same page because they're both top players that play the game at relatively the same frequency. Like, we can assume that they're both playing the game. They're both top players. They both have enough time to gain significant progress on Tidal Wave for it to be a race. So the idea that one person has more time to play than the other or whatever is just null and void, and it's irrelevant. Like, their genetics, they're both top players playing at the highest level. So that's irrelevant also. Like, we're not comparing like random people to top players.
In the grand scheme of things, there are people like who probably have like an hour a week to play this game.
Right, and Servax and Tiago are probably not those people, given the fact that they're making Tidal Wave progress at the same rate, given the fact that they're both top players playing at a similar level. Like, what are we talking about? Why is any of this relevant?
Yeah, similar to when it was an unofficial race when Yatagarasu came out and Sonics and I forget the other dude's name, unfortunately. Like, when they were essentially in an unofficial race to be the first to beat it, because at the same time 2.1 was on the line.
Yeah.
Whoever beat it first
this shit was,
got 2.1 out.
Like, why is it an issue if you call it as... I'm like, CBF will affect, like, the outcome of the race way more than any of those other factors that you're saying, because they're already
CBF
on the same level.
Yeah, if they're on the same level, then using someone like CBF, where it's like literally a mod, does make it slightly easier and give a slight advantage.
Right.
Like, I understand like that aspect of saying it's cheating, but I feel like it also is just determined on whether the player wants to use it. Like, if both of them wanted to use it, they both want to use it. Yeah, that's true. One of them doesn't, then one of them just doesn't want to use it.
And I'm not saying that it's like unfair. I'm just saying like they're in an unofficial race. This one is using CBF. This one is. I just think that it's like if I look at Tiago beating Tidal Wave, I think it's like just a little bit more impressive than Servax because he's not using the mod.
Yeah, I think it's slightly more impressive, especially if they come within like similar attempt counts.
Yeah. That's basically all I'm saying.
In to discuss CBF, like.
But no,
in
it's
that
a huge deal.
circumstance.
We're getting to the
There's
big boy
just
shit. Like,
so
come on.
many factors in play that literally the only solution to this is to just not take it seriously. Like,
Yeah, but at the
it
same
is just
time, like,
so,
pay attention to
like,
the fact that it's the level itself. If they both had all the other factors, what is still going to be a determinant factor? CBF use. Like, I get it. There's so much other shit happening in the world that determines how much time and whatever you have, but so what? We're trying to take it from, like, the game standpoint. Sometimes you have to make assumptions. Oh, no.
beyond stupid to take something like that seriously.
Wait, and then how's the solution to not take it seriously?
Don't take it seriously. It's just like one of the top levels and one of the hardest games ever created.
Beyond stupid to take stuff like that seriously. There are people who play the game for 10 hours a day. Like, CBF is so inconsequential when you compare, like, someone who plays the game for 10 hours a day and has, like, really good fucking genetics to someone who plays the game for 1 hour a day and fucking sucks ass. Like, it's
right, but like Tiago isn't someone who plays the game 1 hour a day and sucks ass versus Servax being someone who's really good and plays 10 hours a day. They're both top players.
They're both still top players.
Like, what the fuck?
It's just,
well, there's none of what you're saying is relevant.
Not part of the argument
at all.
And I don't have a problem with people not
I'm like, what are we talking about?
playing the Demonlist and taking it somewhat seriously, but like, dude, like, I don't give a shit how frustrating it is that you can't like rise the ranks or whatever. It's just not.
Bro, who said
that
anything
serious.
about
It's
rising the
literally
ranks?
just not
of
that
serious.
serious.
Bro, am I crazy or like?
No, like I got ADD and he's going off on like more side tangents than I do.
Like, that person could potentially be a top player. It's like, it's so like.
Well, we're not talking about anybody who can potentially be a top player. We're talking about two top players.
Because now a completion with CBF and one without CBF have the same value.
No, they don't. They only have the same value because you're a fucking moron and you can't like, dude, if you actually.
No, it has the same value, not because I'm a moron, but because a record with CBF is accepted the same way that a record without CBF is accepted. That's why they have the same value.
They don't have the same value. They have the same value on the Demonlist.
That's what I'm saying! Oh my god!
Have the same value.
No, they don't. They only have the same value because you're a fucking moron and you can't like, dude, if you actually. They have the same value on the Demonlist.
So why is this nigga getting so mad, bro?
Over nothing.
I said they have the same value because the list accepts it the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
if the list accepts it, they both have
the same value.
essential
That's why.
value.
That's why I circled Popoff and Servax. Servax used CBF. Popoff didn't. Do you see any difference here? They both are accepted at 100%.
Exactly.
They have the same value.
You both accomplish the same thing. But if you want to look at like the individual little things, I would say it's slightly more impressive to use it. But again, not by like a distinguishable amount because it's still the same general value. You both beat a top level.
Right.
Determine whether something's cheating. They also don't determine whether someone's a good player, you fucking moron. Like, if you're really like then deciding that these have the same value, then it's
Wait,
you.
the Demonlist does decide what's cheating and what's
like,
not.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
They
You
don't
just
accept
said
records.
that the Demonlist doesn't.
Like, why are you name calling when you can't even interpret what I'm saying?
Then deciding that these have the same value, then it's you that's the fucking problem, dumbass. Like, that's.
Bro, the irony in this is insane.
If you really like are expecting the Demonlist to be like a fucking like perfect, like without flaw representation of how good someone is, then you're a fucking idiot.
Did, like, at any point in the video,
No.
Okay.
I didn't even have to fucking answer it.
Oh my god.
Sure, this is the same accomplishment, and that's fine.
Yes, it is fine.
But in actuality,
Yes, it is fine.
Look at the attitude with agreeing with
Oh.
Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand how you even began to arrive at, like, oh, the Demonlist is, like, a perfect interpretation of skill. Huh? What are we talking about right now? Who said that, and how did you get there?
Like perfect, like without flaw representation of how good someone is, then you're a fucking idiot.
And a record doesn't even depict that in the first place. So, like, I'm just trying to figure out ways in, like, what you arrived at. I showed records, and yeah, one record of one level doesn't depict how good you are as a player. I even said, like, a little bit of research would show you that I said that several times pointer crate placements don't mean anything.
isn't, and the audience has the right to understand that. Not once.
You can understand that if you're not a fucking moron, dude. Like, I think.
Okay, so if someone doesn't know if you're using CBF or not, like that makes them a moron. Like they don't know the telltale signs. I can't, bro.
I really think like if you're expecting, like, it just isn't a big deal because like you can't expect everyone to give it this much thought, and like they don't, and that's
fair. But this is a very like the community is split in two about this mod. This is like a very big topic, which is why when I made a video about it, I got 12,000 views on it. When I usually average like 100, 200 views per video.
You can't expect everyone to give it this much thought, and like they don't.
That's why we make videos about it, is to get those
like
thoughts.
that literally just is what it is. You can't.
Some people do
change
care about
the
this.
fact that-
That's what
We're
I'm
analyzing
saying.
top players.
Oh my god! I'm like, bro, you're acting like just because you don't care doesn't mean that there's
Yeah,
like a
I
big
understand
portion of
that
people who
the
do.
average player is not going to care about this because they're trying to beat their own like levels that they want to work on. But the people who actively like to engage in what the top players are doing, because this game is really fucking hard, let them analyze it. Let them have
People won't get
opinions.
it. True. Just the reality, like that literally just is what it is. You can't change the fact that people won't get the recognition they deserve sometimes, and like people have like.
That's not what is being said.
Are using CBF without mentioning it. Again, it's their prerogative, but it seems sort of sneaky as well as.
That's true. Actually, I think people should be transparent about it. I think that's always a good thing. I think the more transparency, the better. Huh? The other thing is like, you can't be transparent about everything.
And then here you go, like putting in more factors that are just completely irrelevant.
Tidal Wave 100% CBF on. I'm rich and I have infinite free time. Like you're not gonna put that in the fucking title.
I'm rich and I have free time is like a new mod that is like sparked a lot of talk in the Geometry Dash community that allows you to click between the physics steps. Yeah, I'm rich and I have a lot of free time. It's the same thing as click between frames. Like this is bad faith.
If you want transparency, ask the fucking person what they use.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
You can't always get the full story. Like, you'll never get the full... You can't be transparent about everything.
But we're not talking about everything. We're just talking about something that makes the game like slightly easy.
I have infinite free time. Like, you're not
You can't be transparent about everything. Like, what do you want? do you want everyone to be like, I use this? Actually, a lot of people do say exactly what mask they use. But I use this in a darkly lit room at 38% blue lighting. Like,
but
if you're using something that actively actively is on the game itself, be transparent about it. Like how FPS Bypass, like you needed to be transparent about it because it was not necessarily like a cheat, but it was a tool at the time. Now it's an integrated part of the game.
Right, and
so
it was
you
like
no longer
very
have
new.
to be transparent about it. But CBF is just, we're going in that path again. Just be transparent about it. You can't be transparent about everything, man. Like, shut up.
We're just talking about CBF.
like, to use your point against you, no one cares that deeply.
Caring
Oh
about
yeah, asking whether or not you use CBF is like trying to stir up drama.
It's like so...
Or saying that you should put it in your
Just
description.
trying to, like,
I think you
cause
should put it
drama
in the
for no reason.
description.
I don't have a problem with top players using the mod to beat and submit a level to the records if said platform accepting the record allows the mod. However, we as the audience at the bare minimum deserve to know whether or not the mod was used in order to properly grasp the magnitude of the achievement. That's all.
However, we as the audience at the bare minimum deserve to know whether or not the
No,
mod
you
was
fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
So yeah, this is why I was like, bro, what kind of conversation do you want to have?
You don't.
And literally just a second ago, you said, I always think transparency is a good thing.
well as,
That's true, actually. I think people should be transparent about it. I think that's always a good thing. I think the more transparency, the better.
So then what's wrong with me saying this?
However, we as the audience at the bare minimum deserve to know whether or not the
No,
mod
you
was
fucking don't. Shut the
Like, what do you, like, why are you getting so hostile over that when you literally said that transparency is always a good thing? So listen to this.
No, you fucking don't.
More
Shut
transparency
fuck
to the
up.
issue.
No, you don't.
You
Yeah.
don't.
You don't.
Caring about that is ask the fuck.
Oh.
It's a good thing. I think the more transparency, the better.
The more transparency, the better. So to ask a player if they need transparency, oh, you don't.
You
Oh,
fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
shut the fuck up.
You don't.
You don't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Really care.
No.
Take too seriously. It's you.
Everyone crying and bitching and
I don't
moaning.
need to know.
Like I asked
literally crying and moaning about it.
While I disagree with most of this video, I do respect you a lot for putting opinions out there, and I enjoy the discussions it can start. I actually do agree with the proposed idea of a CBF flag on Pointer Crate record displays. By King Crab, the second half of their comment was, absolutely agree on people needing to disclose they use CBF though. It really should be in people's descriptions or somewhere on the demon list if you click around, because it is important information. Like, I'm not making this shit up. Like, other people care about this shit. Like just because you think it's irrelevant doesn't mean you, like, have to be hostile to somebody else having a different opinion by somebody thinking it is relevant. I like how you believe that I'm harassing, like, me saying, like, oh, like, include CBF in, like, a title or a description is harassing, but you asking the person directly isn't. Like what's a more logical what's a more logical solution? Like, just push for somebody having it in the description so you don't have to ask, or just like berate somebody, or not even berate, because I'm not gonna take, they didn't say berate, they said ask the person. I'm not taking what you're saying out of context.
If someone is just lying about like all of their circumstances in order to like receive more credit, then that is like dishonest. But if you're just not putting the fact that you use fucking BF in the description, it's like you're not really being.
And I'm not calling it dishonest. I'm just saying that it would be nice if you did include that information. Nobody's calling you, like, nobody's mad at you for not putting the thing. Like, do you not hear the tone of this video?
However, we as the audience at the bare minimum deserve to know whether or not the mod was used in order to properly grasp the magnitude of the achievement. That's all.
That's all. That's literally it. Acting like crazy. Like, that's what I meant by you acting like me being hyperbolic in the beginning, and like me saying, oh, don't act like somebody's opinion differing from yours is like a form of hate speech. Because you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's what I meant by you getting butthurt too. Like, are you actually trying to have a conducive conversation, or are you just gonna like whine and bitch and moan whenever I say something you don't agree with? Like, shut the fuck up. You're not owed shit. Like, am I in psychosis? Like, did I imagine that being said?
No, you fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
Like, what is your, like, why the attitude? Like, God forbid somebody thinks that including something in a description is relevant and you don't.
About like all of their circumstances in order to.
And it's not all of your circumstances. It's whether you use CBF or not. I don't understand what we're not understanding about that.
You're not lying by like hiding that information. Like,
no one's saying they're lying even if they did hide that information. Nobody's saying that.
The other problem I have with CBF is that it will intrinsically mess up Demonlist placements.
No, we're gonna be here for a while.
Shut the fuck up, man. This one is so bad because like there's nothing perfect about Demonlist placements. Like, everyone is going to find different levels harder than other levels. Like, if you try to
achievements are different for everyone.
Yes,
it does not matter what they.
They're so vastly different for everyone. No, not most placements are opinion based. They're all opinion based.
They're all opinion based with the purpose of finding an objective, of making an objective list. At all, I didn't mean to imply that CBF doesn't change opinions for the list. I probably should have been more clear about that. So that's fine. That's a list mod talking to me. So, like, yeah, they account for very specific stuff all the time. That's my point in bringing that up. Like, maybe, like, not disturbing. Like, maybe I could have reworded that, because I don't think we've had an instance where, like, a level that is easier than a level that it's above is above said level solely because of CBF. I don't think we've seen that place yet, but I'm saying that it's like something that can happen. And then my proposal is just for people to, or the mods to, like, take CBF completions into, like, consideration, like, just to keep that in mind when they're placing levels. And then he literally says that, like, we take this stuff into consideration anyways. I'm actually out of here. This Mdog5 guy's actually making my brain cells crumble like a cookie. I don't think you had that many to begin with, so it's okay. Like, if we're roasting, if we're roasting, if they were a fan of, like, another channel that was agreeing with what I was saying, this person would not have the same energy at all.
Because it is well known that CBF creates major benefits to gameplay, therefore giving the player an easier experience. A placement
That's not objectively true. I mean, it can make the level harder.
In very specific cases, but in most cases it creates an easier experience, which is why a lot of top players are using it. Most top players now are using it.
I don't care.
Fantastic,
This
when in actuality,
is so
it is
like
exactly
just meaningless bullshit.
Yeah.
So then just skip it. Like you don't have to watch
Yeah.
it.
Can we put that
That dog shit ass attitude.
Good morning. Hello, Capogers.
morning.
We're making fun of this person.
I mean, I guess, but there's not like much to make fun of. Like if anything, you're exposing your own like terrible attitude and approach to the things that I'm saying. You're misconstruing a lot of what I've already said, and your rebuttal includes like additional factors that aren't relevant to the conversation. And then you writing stuff off as meaningless because you yourself believe that it's meaningless, when in actuality, the community's reception challenges your view of it being meaningless.
It's silly to ignore that there's going to be some inherent inconsistencies with level placements.
There already are.
Right, and CBF is making it more so. Like, it's adding another layer of inconsistency. Like, hold on, bro. Hold on. If, like, somebody falls on the ground and scrapes their knee, and then they get up and get hit by a car, should the doctor not address the fact that they got hit by a car just because they already hurt themselves by scraping their knee?
The idea of the demon list is like it just means there's going to be inconsistencies. I guess I see that.
Right, and we're trying to lessen those inconsistencies. I don't understand why like we're being so combative at this. Like you can have like we can accurately determine the actual difficulty of one level over another. Like obviously everybody's gonna have different experiences based on like what they're good at and whatnot, but like levels are levels. Like you're not gonna have the exact same. I say this in the video, bro.
Opinions have the purpose of determining which one is harder and easier. And no
They
two
don't.
levels are
What are you talking about? What? So like if I go on every single video, right? Let's go on a random Geometry Dash video. Level enjoyment, furthest death, placement on level as of recording 14. My personal opinion, harder than Tartarus. I don't know by how much. Current placement 1. He's literally saying that this is the hardest level in the game. 3. This is his opinion right here. Avernus is harder than Silent Clubstep, and Silent Clubstep is harder than Slaughterhouse. And the Demon List takes this and places the levels based on his opinion. The dislike comment. I wanted somebody to notice. Because like how the fuck do you have a mid NPC and you can barely run Geometry Dash? Like boy, get the hell out of here, bro. Over there lying. I was just gonna act like this is the craziest shit ever.
I think that's pretty harmless. I also think that
It does not matter.
I don't think it matters, but like it would be nice, but like it doesn't matter.
That's literally what I'm saying. Like, do I actually think the Demon List is gonna add like fucking icons next to the? No. Like, are you going back to the video to see what like? Wait, why did I get so mad at that?
It's funny how he was right about the fucking CBF is cheating. Right about that. Then he just talked about all this like unrelated shit.
It's not unrelated to talk about how CBF impacts, bro. I'm not gonna keep arguing. Like this, it's a logical train of thought.
Made it
Yeah.
seem like he wasn't accepting of its use. That was like actually just straight.
Nobody's wait. So you're looking back into the forced normalcy part, and you're like, oh, I'm not accepting of its use. What is this right here?
So to start off, I believe that CBF is an amazing mod and a tool that grants the community more accessibility to levels and more benefits.
I literally say, I think in a little bit later, that like I would use the mod, and I'm using it as soon as it comes out.
With people using it. It's like what?
Like what? Like you're just like not capable of like interpreting this information correctly, what I'm saying correctly. And like with the 30 to 60 FPS thing, like I could understand, like that's on me, but like everything else, like I don't understand. Like you've arrived at conclusions via ridiculous fucking ways.
Just straight up bullshit. And then he's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm actually okay with people using it.
Like that is a gross misrepresentation of what the video said.
He talked about so much shit that just like doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Like
Bro, F it. CBF is cheating. A deep dive. What did you expect?
I wasted my time.
Yeah.
Oh, now is a waste of your time.
That was crazy. Okay, let's read the
Well,
doggy.
I didn't. Oh yeah, Doggie.
Let's read the doggy comment. This is what I really want to get into. Okay. While I agree that accepting CBF is a bit questionable, that is a fucking terrible start. You can't
Yeah.
argue incorrectly that it's not cheating and then be like, it's questionable that.
Why not? Why not? Why is that invalid? You can say that something isn't cheating while saying that accepting it might be a bit questionable.
That's so like backwards. I don't like the framing that that it is a tool that aids players and makes the game easier. That is exactly what it does, though.
That's what I said. I said that's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Like, that is an inconsequential thing to say. That's just like the truth. People use this kind of framing at FPS Bypass in 2.1 and now CBF in 2.2, and it always bothers me. I do not give a shit if it bothers you, Doggie. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
It implies that these tools lessen the game's reliance on raw skill like aim assist. Is simply untrue. Dude,
Huh?
No one's claiming it. Literally no one is claiming that.
So I love how you're able to discern that nobody was claiming that, but then you act like I claimed a bunch of things that I didn't claim. I don't know.
Apply that unless you interpret it that way, which is like fucking stupid.
Like that's what you need to be telling yourself. Oh my god.
Like this is like very clearly just him being mad that people are calling it cheating. What these tools do eliminate is factors outside of the player's raw skill from contributing to gameplay, allowing actual raw skill to be displayed at its fullest. Saying CBF makes the game easier while technically true doesn't accurately express what it truly does feel like in a disingenuous way, presenting the argument solely to get people to agree with you. No, okay, so the thing about that is like
I kind of agree with that, but like it doesn't really matter.
No, he's
like,
right
so.
in that sense, but that's not what the game is. Like the game.
Yeah, exactly.
The game isn't accurate. Like that's just.
That's my point. That's my point too. It's like no matter how you cut like the pie, no matter how you guys want to say it, like what CBF does, like oh it takes away factors so that you can only have your raw skill. Like that's not the base game. Like the base game has factors that impede your raw skill, which now the definition of raw skill changes. Your raw skill is your ability to deal with the factors that impede you. Rather than CBF eliminating those factors, now that's like aided skill. Slightly aided, but it's still aided.
Mentally, how the game is programmed, it's not accurate. That's not an inherently bad thing. Like,
yeah.
there's nothing like inherently. Now, a lot of people might not like that, but that doesn't.
And that's valid if they don't like it.
Yeah,
it's like just use CBF.
If you
Like,
don't like it,
that's
just
your
use
thing.
CBF. But like that's just not what the game. That's not how the game is programmed. RapTop is not claiming to like that your inputs will be accurate down to the exact like fucking microsecond that you click. There's no claim to that. You happen to be playing hard levels and you're just mad that people are calling you cheating.
That's not the case.
Impressive part. These completions do not require a different amount of raw skill. I mean, that is a very stupid thing to say because
why is everything stupid or like a waste of time? Like, why can't you just have a conversation?
have the same, like, you don't have to have any skill to be Tidal Wave.
I can't, bro.
I do think if you beat a level like Tidal Wave without CBF, it's slightly more impressive just because.
Simply is.
I think it's ever so slightly
having
more,
to deal
but not
with
like
the imprecision of
like it's considerable enough to like say I use CBF.
Yeah.
Not like considerable like oh you wouldn't have been able to do this if you didn't use
exactly.
CBF. Like
it's
you,
more of just
you
like
still have to have the fucking skill.
It warrant like the difference it makes warrants enough just to say hey I use CBF while beating this.
Right.
But not enough to be like I could not have done it without.
Right.
You don't have to have any skill to beat Tidal Wave. You can take a very long time.
You can just like
be Tidal Wave like.
You don't have to have any
you can just
skill,
gamble
it's
for like
crazy.
14 billion years and you can get
Yeah,
it. Like,
I mean I could be Tidal Wave eventually if I fucking dropped 7 years into it. Like, it
But then
literally
what are
is
you
nothing.
doing within those 7 years? You're building skill.
Yeah, you're building skill to beat it because look at the people who. Lord Vadercraft is a great example of this. He jumped immensely to beat Firework.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't beaten any other like top levels.
Yeah.
And then went on and just verified a bunch of other cherry team levels after that because
Yeah.
he had the skill after beating level like that.
Right.
Like yeah, he poured hundreds of thousands of attempts into beating it, but he also gained the skill from doing that. Like
Right.
you gain the skill from playing the level.
It's not like playing a level is like the lottery where it's like completely luck.
No, like I lose all my skill once I jump from fucking like deadlocked to Poltergeist or whatever.
Like clearing a 360 FPS jump is like luck based. Like, not 200 frame perfect waves, UFO, like in every single game mode, bro. Like a level that has every single game mode that runs for 3 minutes with 260 FPS frame perfects. Like, that's not luck based. Like, that's not the same thing.
Thing to do with skill. And you can also just get lucky. I mean, even if you are like,
You can't just get
the
lucky.
exact same skill.
It's a
level
combination of
as
skill
someone,
and
which is
just being
luck.
able to lock in. I feel like there is definitely like still a teensy little
Like-
luck aspect, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like if you beat it, you had the skill to beat it.
Exactly. Like, my thing is, like, when I think of, like, luck based, it's like Trick rebeating Tidal Wave. Like, remember when he almost rebeat Tidal Wave in
Yeah.
5 attempts? Like, that was luck, but it was predicated on skill. Like, he wouldn't
He
have
had
been
to
able
have
to
the skill to
access.
do it.
Exactly. He wouldn't have had access to that luck if he didn't have
He just
the
had
skill
the
to
luck
beat the
to
level.
get that close, but he still did have the skill to be able to do it.
Right.
Because otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten that close. Actually, I'm gonna pause it one more time. Would you say fucking W Popoff beating Slaughterhouse 3 times in a row is lucky? It's partially lucky.
Partially, yeah.
But at the same time, he had to have the skill
skill
because
to
he
do
beat
it.
the level like over 100 times.
Depending on your genetics, depends on if CBF helps you. You can't just say CBF makes the game easier in a different way. That's lazy.
Guys,
I'm not even gonna like go on
Dweebs.
that
I think you're
It's like actually
overestimating
fundamentally wrong.
This is a really fucking stupid comment.
No, it's not.
It really wasn't.
And Doggie's like not even like my
No, I
favorite player
started
by a long
Firework.
shot. Anyway, I actually don't like
Risk
him that
is
much, but I think the
actually
comment makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, I fuck
Oh.
with Doggie. He's one of my
I
favorites.
started fireworks.
Said I do think this Mdog5 guy is downgrading other people's achievement because of CBF, and it makes me kind of mad. What do you think?
I really think you're downgrading other people's achievements still.
ABB started firework before me, but ABB
You're not
went
downgrading,
to,
you're just saying like, hey, if you
half
use
a
it, maybe just make
And
like a little
Vision
disclaimer that
started
you used it. Because
Silent
yeah,
Active
both
long.
players still had to have almost the exact same skill set to be able to beat it. Otherwise, they both wouldn't have beat it.
Okay.
It's more just like, here's like an ever so slight advantage. Similar to how FPS Bypass was the ever so slight advantage. It's literally the exact same argument. Do you see anyone complaining about FPS Bypass anymore? No, because it's an integral part of the game now. And the whole upshoot from FPS Bypass was you just had to put it in the description.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally the same thing that's
started 3
happening
months
now.
ago for King. This comment probably sucks. I don't know.
Bro, this is a long comment from top player. This comment probably sucks. We shouldn't be putting down people.
I don't
This
think
comment
it's
probably
something-
sucks.
I really don't.
I think someone, the commenter
Songs
said
with fire
something.
complete- I'm
Someone said,
nowhere
like,
close
let
to
them be
being fired
happy.
With my whole injury thing. If
Again,
my
not
right
putting
arm
them
broke,
down.
Have you done
We're
have you
just
gone
making
from
the
0 to
FPS
your left
bypass
hand?
argument just again for a new topic that's very similar to the FPS bypass argument.
Like, I should have said that like, it still requires raw skill and talent to beat Tidal Wave, regardless if you're using CBF or
Your
not.
answer is no.
My
Though they
brain.
beat the same level. Trick and
But,
Popoff did it in the confines
I just
of the
think that it's,
game
like,
and
slightly
with
less.
their raw skill and talent. A6 and Servac.
Not to say A6 and Servax don't have talent. They obviously do. It's just that Trick and Popoff had to wait for the next physics step for every input, while A6 and Servax got to make their own. So I'm not like downgrade. That's the only instance that I like can think of when that person's saying like I do think like this guy is downgrading achievements like that are CBF. Like no, it's still extremely impressive. Like it's still extremely impressive. And yeah, I could have said that in the video, but again, I don't think I said anything too crazy in the video that would make me believe, or that would make you believe that, like, I value CBF completions, like, marginally less than normal completions. Especially when I had, like, this right here.
This comment probably sucks. I don't feel like reading it.
Bro, look how condescending and dismissive you are.
I don't think Septagon has any.
Like, bro, you don't think Septagon has anything. You think Doggie's comments dumb. You think, like, half of what I said is irrelevant. Or you don't care. Like, stop crying. Like, you don't have the conversation, have it. But, like, there's no reason to be angry for nothing.
Yes, that's the main thing I fucking disagree with this. I think this person is being a fucking asshole to, like, people who beat levels.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how you got that conclusion.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, you were an asshole for the majority of this reaction, and now you're calling me an asshole.
And I'm not making a fucking video on this. Like, I've thought about this a lot. My thing is well thought out. I don't think this person deserves a fucking video.
Like, oh, yeah, now I don't deserve a video. Like, who do you think you are? What the fuck? I was like, ooh, I don't deserve a video.
You went off on enough side tangents with your friends about the extremes of of the arguments that you ended up just saying, nah, fuck this guy. I think he's an asshole, therefore he's an asshole.
Look at this comment. Look at the bottom there.
Where?
God.
Don't be an asshole percent needs to be an asshole.
Google thinks
Like, bro, we're not crazy, bro. Like, you're...
terrifies me. I don't. There's no.
Now.
What could they possibly say that would refute what I said? I literally went so.
What could they possibly say? Maybe
Yeah.
like actually having like a logistical argument. Crazy.
I mean, I ultimately.
CBF
I got to the.
somewhere else.
I like got to the same conclusion as them, more or less, but I didn't make myself look like a fucking idiot in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's still crazy.
I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think you look way worse. And I was like, I think basically all I said was, like, not everything I said. Like, I can see, like, I could definitely go back on some points. Like, I can be persuaded on some of the points that I said. Like, I'm not going to make a 30-minute video and expecting nobody to, like, not bring up good points or whatever that might,
Yeah,
like...
that's the point of posting is
Exactly.
you can get community feedback on it. And
Yeah.
sometimes your opinion slightly changes because of that, because you got more sides to it.
Yeah. Like, I learned that, like I learned about, like, the definition of gaslighting. And I was like, oh, shit, probably shouldn't have said that except the guy was gaslighting the other person. But I was like...
Like, that's the point of having, like, a constructive argument.
Right. And then it's like, to make like an hour and 40-minute stream and saying, oh, like, what could he possibly say to refute anything I said? Like, really? That's your mindset? Like, even in their comment, he was like, I'm not arguing that you're, like, some immoral monster. I'm like, bro, the fact that that's what you chose to say. Like, no, you're not arguing.
That means that's what you think. If
Right.
That's what your first
Like
argument's
that's the upper extreme. Like, an immoral monster is the upper extreme to what you think I am.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not trying to argue you're some immoral monster. I was like, okay, but you are arguing that I'm an asshole. Like, bro, like, just calm that ass down, bro.
Just relax, let people have an opinion and have like constructive arguments and everything.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to get so mad.
You said, I also found it funny that you misconstrue me promoting people feeling good about something they achieved without some asshole telling them that it's ruining the game with being butthurt. No, I'm being butthurt. I'm calling you butthurt because, like, this is your reaction to something that I said that wasn't even crazy.
The minimum deserve to know whether or not the
No,
mod
you
is-
fucking don't. Shut the fuck up.
No, you don't.
You
Yeah.
don't. It doesn't matter.
Like, that's your attitude to something that I said. Like, essentially, you just don't agree with it. I didn't disparage anybody. I wasn't disrespectful. So that's on you. And you need to do a better job of, like, having these sorts of conversations, even if you don't agree with what's being said. Like, there's no reason to have it. It's like, what kind of conversation do you want to have at the end of the day? Like, when you started calling me names and shit, like, what kind of conversation do you want to have? Because, like, we can be cordial and actually talk about it. At this point, no, because, like, it's clear that, like, we don't agree on the fundamentals, which is fine. I respect your opinion. Like, your opinion on this, like, CBF deserves levels placements. Like, I respect that. It's just that you acted like my opinion was insane. Just do a better job next time.
Fucking nothing else.
Like, this is a very nuanced topic. So to think that, like, an opinion opposite of yours is, like, so stupid, or, like, oh, no, I don't get what people, like, you're worse than some of these commenters.
This for an hour and 40 minutes.
And then you're still being condescending.
Right now.
But thanks for the reaction. It was cool to, like, actually be able to sit and, like, have somebody react to, like, one of my discussion videos, because I literally make discussion videos for the purpose of discussing. I'm gonna fix this. Where's the shit? Yeah, I'm gonna fix this typo.